Propelled by blockbuster films and tell-all books, Navy SEALs have become famous, with many watch brands looking to cash in by claiming to produce Navy SEAL watches. But watch culture in naval special warfare is real and stretches back to the frogmen's earliest days. In this video, we'll separate fact from fiction, revealing the real history behind the timepieces used by NSW as well as the watches favored by SEALs today. Watches of Espionage is curated by a former CIA case officer with a passion for timepieces. On the WOE YouTube channel, we explore the intersection of watches and the military, intelligence, and national security. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to be informed when we release new videos. For decades, the SEAL teams lived in the shadows before bursting into the limelight as a result of several high-profile missions, including the Bin Laden raid. One side effect of this newfound fame has been the overuse of the SEAL Trident and SEAL-related branding for marketing purposes. Numerous watch brands have claimed associations with the teams, but which timepieces actually deserve the honor? The reality is that most team guys today rely on digital tool watches while training or deployed overseas, but SEALs have a strong watch culture dating back to the earliest days of the underwater demolition teams, or UDTs. Many modern-day tool watches were originally designed for maritime use, and specifically as military dive watches. Established during the Second World War, Naval Combat Demolition Units, Underwater Demolition Teams, and the OSS Maritime Unit served as the forefathers of modern SEALs. The U.S. Navy's Bureau of Ships developed a specification for a submersible wristwatch that would become known as the Canteen, for its screw-down crown cover connected to the central case with a chain. The Bu-ship's Canteen was something of a historical oddity, but still saw service into the 1950s when the earliest commercial dive watches took over. While Tudor had been supplying the U.S. Navy since the 1950s, the legend of the Tudor Submariner in naval special warfare came into being during the Vietnam War, when the reference 7928 was issued to early frogmen in large numbers. While there are instances of other watches being used by SEALs in Vietnam, including the Zodiac Seawolf and Seiko 6105, most archival images and films show SEALs wearing the Tudor 7928 on a fabric strap, often alongside a Waltham WCC wrist compass.
When I graduated in 1965, I was so proud to receive the big watch. I watched all the frogmen and SEALs, and they all had the big Tudors.
Right.
So I waited until I graduated, and the first day you graduate, you get issued it's called war bag, and all your clothes and everything. And then you get your watch, you get your Tudor.
Beyond Vietnam, the Tudor Submariner remained the most commonly issued watch for SEAL teams well into the 1970s, as the reference 7928 gave way to Snowflake Submariners, including the reference 7016. As the Navy transitioned to less expensive dive watches, many SEAL-issued Tudors were destroyed or sold in government auctions, with surviving examples becoming coveted keepsakes and a sign of OG status in the SEAL community. While Tudor watches are no longer issued to SEALs, Tudor's relationship with NSW remains strong, with customized unit versions of the Pelagos FXD and other models having been produced for various SEAL teams in the past few years. The most common question we get at WOE: where's the best place to buy a watch? Easy. Bezel. Bezel is a modern, tech-enabled marketplace connecting serious collectors and trusted sellers. With tens of thousands of watches and $750 million in inventory listed, they offer everything from a Rolex GMT to a Breitling Aerospace for the sketchier among us. And if it's not listed, their concierge will hunt it down. Every single watch sold goes to Bezel's headquarters for in-house authentication, checking for originality, aftermarket parts, and even cross-checking against stolen watch registries. If it doesn't pass, the sale's canceled, and their team will work to find you a replacement. Once it checks out, it's overnighted to your door, insured and ready to wear. Their app also offers 7-day no-premium auctions. If you want to buy a watch and mitigate risk, Bezel is where you start. Download the Bezel app or visit getbezel.com, because in this world, authenticity is everything. Several Seiko references were privately purchased and used by SEALs in Vietnam. But Seiko's official relationship with the teams started in the 1980s as the Navy searched for a less expensive alternative to its long-standing Swiss-made Tudor Submariners. For around half the price of a Tudor sub, NSW settled on the 6309, affectionately known to collectors as the Turtle for its distinctive cushion case shape. For the Cold War generation of frogmen, the 6309 was the SEAL watch, seeing action on deployment as well as during training. Discontinued in 1988, the Seiko Turtle was, in many cases, the last mechanical dive watch officially issued to the SEAL teams. While later Seiko references, including the Quartz 7548 and Automatic 7002, were also favored by team guys, everything changed in the early 1980s when inexpensive digital watches flooded the market. The 1983 introduction of the Casio G-Shock marked the beginning of the end for issued analog watches. The inexpensive Japanese digital G-Shock offered a combination of affordability and durability that couldn't be matched by the analog dive watches of the day. Many SEALs were quick to turn in their issued Tudor Submariners and Seiko divers in favor of the new G-Shocks that offered a host of additional timekeeping functions as well as a useful backlight. When the G-Watt began in earnest following 9/11, G-Shock was the tool of choice for NSW deploying to the Middle East. Most SEALs were issued either the D.W 5600 or D.W 6600, two of the 4 G-Shock models to have been awarded an NSN or NATO stock number, making the watches readily available through military supply channels. For many SEALs of the era, the G-Shock was also a rite of passage, issued to young SEALs after completing second phase of BUDS, or Basic Underwater Demolition SEAL training.
The watch of today is really the Casio G-Shock is the first watch you get issued.
And that's an issued example.
This is the one that I got. This watch was really significant. That this was earned. This is, whatever, a $50 watch, but this one I earned and I wore it, a lot of my career. This was like a signifier and I was jealous of owning this watch.
Despite being the most commonly issued watches of the era, G-Shock was not the only D.T.W favored by SEALs. Various Sunto models, including the Vector and Core, were also issued, with Garmin's collection of fitness and tactical smartwatches entering the picture in the conflict's later years. Since then, amid growing concerns about the counter-surveillance risks of smartwatches, many among the military elite, including the SEAL teams, have returned to more basic G-Shock models, with both the D.W 6900 and D.W 9052 being some of the most common models in military channels today. Even though digital tool watches have usurped analog options in the majority of operational settings, many modern SEALs have returned to mechanical watches, honoring the SEAL team's significant heritage with timepieces. Though SEAL teams no longer issue mechanical analog watches from some of watchmaking's biggest names, watch culture in NSW is alive and growing, with many SEALs using luxury watches to commemorate career or personal milestones. While most SEAL-issued Rolex Submariners from decades past were likely Tudor Submariners, many SEALs have a soft spot for the legendary Rolex Sub, including Will Chesney, the SEAL Team 6 dog handler who wore his Submariner on the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. For many SEALs, saving up cash from numerous training and operational deployments to buy a Submariner is a rite of passage, honoring the frogman who came before with a modern luxury dive watch. RESCO Instruments, which was founded by an active duty SEAL in 2009, is one of the very few commercially available watches to receive the SEAL stamp of approval. Given that the founder comes from the community, RESCO has made numerous customized unit watches for the teams over the years and serves as proof that a watch can include SEAL-related branding if it's coming from the right place and being done for the right reasons. In 2024, Omega delivered a version of the custom Seamaster for current and former team guys with the iconic SEAL Trident engraved on the case back. The military-specific version of the Seamaster differs with its matte-finished case, off-white luminescent material, and non-date format. One of the Seamasters was recently spotted on the wrist of Johnny Kim, the former SEAL, qualified medical doctor, and current astronaut, before he blasted off to the International Space Station. The best watches are earned. Another leader in the modern unit watch space, Tudor has also collaborated with several of the SEAL teams, producing a custom Black Bay 58 with a trident on the dial, as well as numerous special versions of the Pelagos FXD, including a watch secretly produced for the Navy's Tier 1 Special Operations Unit. This list is, of course, not exhaustive, and there are numerous examples of Navy SEALs buying and using high-end tool watches from Breitling, Panerai, Bremont, and other brands. The culture of watches, special operations, and espionage is strong and getting stronger every day. What's your favorite watch used by Navy SEALs? Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and hit the bell icon to be informed when we release new videos. For even more, check out our website, watchesofespionage.com, for more content, as well as our collection of watch straps and other purpose-built tools designed for our community. Until next time, happy hunting.